Hi there, Joka here from A Pocket Full of Happiness, and today I'm sharing how I created these 3 cards with some new supplies, including this stamp set called Tropical Leaves Pattern Builder. And if you know my Pattern Builder stamp sets, then this will look familiar. There's 3 parts to it, so you can basically add 3 colors. That's the maximum number of colors that you can add. And then you will have a fun multicolored leaf pattern, basically. Now, as you can see, you will not be able to cover a full panel. You would actually need to stamp this 3 times to cover an A2 panel. But here in this video, I'm only doing 2 times, and then I will use some cardstock to fill out the rest. And the main thing here that you have to look out for is when you try to line up these stamps, then you look through the clear stamp from every direction you can, especially from above, and you should see a sliver of the already stamped image through your clear stamp. So just to make sure that there is no white space in between the stamping. And this is a seamless design, which is why you are, like I'm doing here, you are able to continue the pattern. And here the most important thing is that you always remember what color you used for that particular stamp. Otherwise you're going to mess up the pattern. And when you line this one up, when you already have the pattern at the bottom, then just make sure that you only look at that same color. I don't know if you see here, those tiny little, it's really like a line of ink that you can see through the stamp. It takes a little bit of trial and error, maybe, if you don't know how these work, but I think it's not too difficult to figure it out. Although maybe I wouldn't recommend it for beginners. I'm not entirely certain. I don't think it's very complicated. Just don't get frustrated. It's gonna happen at some point. And also, when you look at the stamp set, I suggest that you start with the top stamp set, because that has the biggest images, and then you go from top to bottom and add the colors with that. So this is the 2, this is lined up twice. I did make a little bit of a mistake or misalignment there, but it's really barely visible. It doesn't bother me at all. Okay, so as you could see, I actually created 2 panels at the same time, because if you have a stamping tool, obviously you can create or mass produce this. It's easier, but then of course you have to make sure that you line up everything perfectly, otherwise you mess up all your stamping. Okay, so now I'm trying to match some color cardstock to these colors that I've used, just to add some more color to it. And I mean, I didn't really have a plan for these cards. I just knew I wanted to use most of that pattern. And I'm cutting some strips of paper, the 3 colors that I used for this one here. And they actually were exactly what you were. So to fill up the A2 size there, I needed 3 strips of paper that were 1/4 of an inch. And that's why I measured the panel to figure out the width of each strip. And as you can see, I cut out a window. I was considering creating a shaker card, but then I gave up on that idea and went with something simpler. And the circle die is from Spellbinders. I don't have a basic circle set, so I just used theirs. And here I'm creating the card base. And I actually don't know why I didn't create that shaker card eventually, but yeah, I think I don't know. I'm not sure. I just don't like making them, to be honest. I always feel like you need a lot of foam tape. It just feels a bit wasteful at times. All right. And so I just added or glued the panel and the strips to my card base, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with these flowers. These I had left from another project, and to not waste them, I thought, okay, I might as well use them here. And these are from a new die set called Tropical Paradise that you can also find in the shop. I probably use them on like 90% of my card samples. I just really like them. And now I'm using a new stamp set, the tie-dye stamp set, to add some sentiments to this card. And I used two colors, which I also used on the background. And yeah, I'm trying to decide the arrangement for these flowers. I'm also using some tropical leaves and kind of repeating that tropical feel in the background. I don't find this to be busy. I think you can still see the design perfectly fine. And now I kind of had a feeling that I need something at the bottom left, but I didn't want to create another cluster of flowers. So I'm trying to figure out if I can add some enamel dots, and eventually I added them, like 5 of them, along this circle. Now I was trying to figure out if I can use the this colorful cutout. I could have, as you can see here, I lined it up with the pattern there. I could have done that, but it just didn't feel right. So I will create a green card here, or green and white. And for that, again, I'm cutting some strips because I want to add some white embossed sentiment here. This is kind of my go-to with pattern backgrounds like this, when I really don't want to cover up a lot of the pattern that I created. So I'm just adding a strip of color cardstock there. God, I have to stop the voiceover all the time, because normally I do this at night when everybody's asleep and there's no background noise coming in from the street, and now I closed everything, but there's still noise. Now our stairs are making noise. Nobody's on them. Nobody's, I don't know what's happening. So I'm really sorry if you will hear weird noises. These are the things that I don't know how to edit out. So I hope it's not going to be too bad. But yeah, it's really annoying. I'm just trying to do this during the day so that I don't have to stay up until 3-4 a.m. But let's see how this goes. All right, so where was I? So I'm trimming down that panel, and I'm just going to center it on the A2 card base, which is then white. And I already embossed that sentiment, which is, I don't know, I think I already mentioned it, but I don't know if I had to cut it out because of these noises. That's from the tie-dye stamp set, which has all kinds of summer theme sentiments. And this actually has another part that you can add, which says life is a beach, enjoy the waves. But in this case, I'm only using this second part. So I created a white floral cluster here, and with green leaves, just to add some interest and dimension. And I'm also adding matching enamel dots in the background, and then this card is done. I think as much as I prefer colorful things, I think from the 3 cards, this is actually my favorite. Now for the third, I was not planning on making a third card, but I just didn't have the heart to throw away this cut out, so I wanted to, you know, make use of it. So I matched that pink color, or kind of raspberry, in the leaves, and I will create a background with this, just white embossing the sentiment directly on top of it, or at the bottom. And this just says summer greetings. And I kind of trimmed this down a little bit. I think instead of the normal A2 size, I probably went with 4 by 5.25 or so, just to have a white edge all around. And yeah, because otherwise it was kind of too much pink for my taste, I think. All right, so I'm adhering this down to the panel, and then gluing another circle, like a heavyweight cardstock, behind the stamp panel, just so that it, you know, to make it more sturdy, and it just works better with the foam tape, I think. And now I'm creating a cluster there, just with one flower. Again, this one was remaining from another project. To be honest, I always die cut way too many things, so I always have leftovers, and they come in handy when I'm in a rush. Then sometimes the colors work perfectly, like here as well. I mean, I have orange in the leaves, so yeah, sometimes I'm just lucky like that. Yeah, so my advice is never throw away anything. I usually leave these on my desk so that I don't forget about them, and then I actually use them. All right, so this is it for today. I hope you found this helpful, but if you have any questions regarding this stamp set or any products, just let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.